Hello, Shoyan here. Last time I finished dismantling the old structure, so today I'm starting on the floor framing. I'm putting in the beams and joists. Whether it's new construction or renovation, it always starts with the floor. Especially with renovations, when you're working on an old building, a laser level is a must. There's just no way to begin without it. First, I check the level across the entire area.
Go. Hey. リスニング。やっぱ6分。
I've got the laser set up now, and I can see that the building's not tilted at all in this direction. This part has settled by about 18 to 20 millimeters. Yeah, it's the same on this side. It looks like the building settled here first, then on the other side. Basically, I just need to match the height of the existing shiki.
Is it normal for a floor to be off by that much?
Yes, after 50 years, it's expected. I thought the load-bearing central pillar would have settled more. But the stone foundation is holding up better than I expected. Normally, the load-bearing pillar that supports the main roof will settle. But here, the corner pillars under the lighter lower roof are the ones that settled. Looks like the ground sank a bit there. I focused a lot on the height, but the real key is matching the frame to the old building. That old section wasn't out of level. The edges of the areas where I'm installing the new floor had settled. If it were the other way around, the new floor wouldn't line up with the shiki and that would make it look all crooked. The main load-bearing pillars haven't settled at all. They must have really packed the ground tight to keep them solid. Along the outer wall, they used a strip foundation, which is pretty strong. The ground's a bit soft, but the real issue is they probably didn't reinforce those outer columns enough, so the foundation ended up settling. Next, I'm installing the joist and beams. Since there's no sill around the edges of the room, I can't use the standard method. Normally, joists attach to the sill, but since there are none there, I've got to use beams along the edges of the room too. The beam doesn't align with the columns like the sill, but in some spots, I'm using it as a sill replacement. First, I build the outline using beams which also support the joists. Then, I notch the beams every 900 millimeters, just as I would with a sill. Once the outer frame is in place, I join the interior beams to it, just like building a new house. The challenging part is dealing with the stone piers. They used natural stones back then, huge ones. I can't just set plastic posts on top of those, so I had to haul all of them out from under the house. That alone was a major job. Now, I'm replacing them with smaller concrete piers, spaced evenly every 900 millimeters, just like before. One great thing about this house is the soil. It's completely dry underneath, no moisture at all. Even when I dig with a pickaxe, I can tell it's bone dry. No moisture means no termites. That's a big plus. Back in the day, we used to pound stone piers like this. But if you hit them too hard with a heavy mallet, they'd crack. If you use the end of a long timber and pound them gently without creating any vibrations, they settle in firmly. There's a solid chestnut sill on the perimeter of the house. It's a bit thin, but chestnut makes for a tough sill. I'm gonna join the beams to this sill. With renovations, each beam needs to be cut into a different length. But once they're all in place, the frame comes together smoothly, just like a new build. When securing the beams, I usually drive screws in from the side. Next, I installed the plastic posts before setting the joists. Things got so much easier once plastic posts became a thing. When I removed the old floor, I found they used cedar posts back then. They were still in great shape, no termites or damage at all. The great thing about plastic posts is they're adjustable, like a jack. You can raise or lower them as needed. With wood, it's tricky to get the height just right. If one's too tall, it pushes the beam up and messes everything else up. It can take nearly an hour just to adjust 9 posts. Plastic posts keep termites away too, and they last practically forever. Compared with wood, they're better all around. There are also steel posts, but I've only used those once. Not really a fan for some reason. Next, I start installing the joists. I use 45mm by 60mm timber with the 45mm side facing up. I haven't finalized the spacing yet. The floorboards are 30mm thick cedar joistless, so they can span the full length of the room. So I'm thinking of spacing them about 360mm apart. If the span between beams is more than a meter, the joist can start to flex a little. In that case, adding an extra joist underneath really helps stiffen things up. Then, I check the height using a laser level and string line. First, I mark the 4 corners with the laser, then stretch a string across the middle to check the height. I can also use a Carpenter's square with the laser as a guide, but using a string is easier for me since I can actually see it. On the other hand, the laser line's invisible in open spaces. Ideally, it should be level or no more than 2mm higher. Lower than level isn't good. Finally, I glue down the base of each plastic post. Everything's already set in place, but I use a little extra glue just to be sure it sticks. Now the kitchen and living room floor frame is done. Everything's level and it feels great. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.